motivation is, or what the intention is, we always seem to get tripped up as soon as we say yes to the new thing, right? We end up being dragged back to the old thing. In the story of the struggle with the angel, Jacob's hip gets damaged, and he limps for the rest of his life. And what the rabbi said about that was, whenever we change our direction, we don't really go willingly in the new direction. It takes a lot to disengage from the emotional hooks and power of that old pattern, that old investment. And so when we turn away, we really don't go very fast. But we get there. We get there if we persevere, if we prevail, if we use the power that comes from that divine center within us, rather than looking outside. That resistance that we run into is the Esau mentality, sort of the ego mentality, the part that wants to be big and strong and be seen as perfect, right? And the thing is, the ego is kind of like a teenager. The ego is a know-it-all. You can't tell it anything, right? And if you do, it's going to ignore you, or blow you off, or call you names. Anybody call themselves names? Yeah, guess who's doing that? Yeah, it's not the divine center. In case you're wondering. You know, anytime there's a higher law, like your parents, or a higher truth, like the spiritual truth, the human in us is going to fight or rebel. Right? That's the opposite of fear. Bodhi knows. Yeah. So how do we get past that? How do we circumvent that? I don't know about you, but I just as soon not struggle the rest of my life every other day, or every other week, or every other sentence. I really like to come into a way of moving forward in my life without struggle, without pain, without wrestling. You know, wrestling, my brother used to wrestle. Anybody here ever wrestle? You've watched wrestling. It is women raising their hands. That's amazing. I love that. Older brothers? Yeah. It's sustained energy. It's push, 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 push. Evade, push, push. You get pinned, you pin again. You get pushed out of the circle, you push it. There's no break. There's no break. We can't live that way. We cannot live that way. We must be able to pause. So the first way to move past any sense of struggle is stop struggling and surrender. Now, the ego warrior mind hears the word surrender and thinks, give up, or give in, or loser. Yeah. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about surrendering the false belief that's driving your bus, that's taking you where you don't want to go. We're talking about acknowledging that there's something in you trying to come forth, and you're blocking the way unwittingly with your limited thinking, with your old belief system, with something in you that doesn't see the bigger picture. Why? Because it's dark. You can't see in the dark, right? So we stop, and the way we shine the light on what's going on is we don't fight it, and we say, you know what? God is in this too. The omnipresence of God. That means everywhere present. That means in this moment, in these vocal cords, in this situation, in that relationship, in the job I used to have, in the job I want to have. God is there always, because there is only God. And that brings the dawn. Because when we can see God in everything, and we are looking from God, there's no struggle. There's kindness, there's compassion, there's understanding, and the path is made clear before us. So it's not that we're going to stop moving, but we are going to stop fighting. So we surrender, and the second step is to allow. allow. Ernest Holmes reminds us that L-E-T is the biggest word there is. Let. Let life move through me. Let love be my expression. Let the light of the world shine from and as me. It's always there. If God is always there, the light is always there, the love is always there. If I'm not giving it off or I'm not seeing it, it's because I'm in the way. You see, we're our own shadows. Right? We are our own shadows. We're the form. Form creates shadow. No form, no shadow. The invisible is always light. Always. And it's available to us. Remember, Peniel, when we're in that place of struggle, we're coming face to face with God. And the minute we recognize it, the fight stops. So we start with what is. So because she's here, because she said I could, I'm going to tell a story on Pat. Sometimes I change the names, but not this time. And most of you know part of the story anyway. When Pat moved out here 7, 8-ish years ago, she didn't know anybody. And she didn't want to move. And it wasn't her idea. And she got dragged out here, put in a job that, it worked for her, but she didn't know anybody. But the spiritual seed, the soul seed, had been planted before the move. And the soul seed was a spark of spiritual seeking. There's something spiritual missing in my life. What is it? What is it? Where is it? What is it for me? What is this place in me that's unfulfilled? And so the journey came up and the dragging across country began, and the landing here and not knowing anyone and leaving friends that she'd had for 15 years and a community and support and, a life, a whole life, leaving it behind. The first person she met was Reverend Jennifer. She met Reverend Jennifer because Reverend Jennifer's other job is she cuts hair. And Pat's ex, her friend's mom, got her hair cut by Jennifer. So it's not like you can plan this stuff out, right? I'm going to move here and then I'm going to meet so-and-so who's going to know so-and-so, whose mom's milkman's son-in-law is going to, yeah. So she meets Jennifer. And lo and behold, first haircut, they're talking about religion. So Reverend Jennifer leads to religious science, leads to me, and leads to Harmony Center. Yeah. So what happened in that process was that move, physically moving in resentment and anger and fear and isolation and wrestling with that. And then finally landing here and going, well, okay, I'm here, now what? That's the opening. Now what? Show me. Show me. The minute we ask, the universe says yes. When you get called into a deeper relationship with God and you say, show me, a light is turned on in you that will shine for the rest of your life. You become the place where heaven touches down. Your edge to win the mortal race of acquisition lessens. Your rational mind doesn't quite get it, but gives way to the emergence of your soul's expression. You feel the divine grace percolating into your awareness. You'll notice a change in the quality of your attitude, infused with more compassion and kindness. You have to grow from the inside out. None can teach you. None can make you spiritual. There is no other teacher but your own soul. So when we say, what's next? When we are willing to be open to what the possibility is, when we stand in our Peniel place